Oh, how the mighty have fallen. 2025 is coming to an end, and we all know what that means. The biggest multiplayer shooters get released. With so many to choose from, with the likes of Battlefield 6, Arc Raiders, and Black Ops 7, it's kinda hard to know which one to play. It's a good thing, however, that Black Ops 7 makes this decision easier by showing us which one to avoid. After the events of Black Ops 2, Alex Mason leads the elite covert team known as Spectre 1 to discover the truth behind the rise of the massive tech conglomerate known as the Guild and their connection with Raul Mendinez, a terrorist long thought to be dead. Oh boy, where to even begin with this one? For starters, this campaign could have been a great way to introduce the more futuristic sci-fi side of Black Ops. But after this train wreck of a barely coherent functioning story, it's safe to say that this is probably the last time that we're ever gonna see this side of Call of Duty. But there are some small redeeming factors. Being able to complete the campaign with your buddy rather than going on it alone was definitely a step up for the series. Well, it would be if the entirety of the campaign didn't need to be constantly online, even if you're playing solo. That means even if you decide to play by yourself, you can't pause or have any sort of checkpoints or temporary progress saves of any kind. You can even be kicked from a mission if it remains still long enough. Seriously, how do you get kicked from a single player mission for just being idle? Oh, but it gets worse. Way worse. Remember how majority of Call of Duty campaigns felt like you got a whole cinematic package? A little taste of everything for those who didn't really want to get a deep dive into the multiplayer. Yeah, well, now that's all completely gone and replaced with this. Seriously, what is it even going on here? Well, at least it can't get any worse, right? Right? Not surprisingly, Black Ops 7 says hold my beer and replaces damn near everything else with poorly tasted AI art and direction that makes everyone question why. Honestly, could someone tell me what was the reasoning behind this was? Thankfully, after slogging through all that, I figured maybe the multiplayer makes up for all of it. And it was confusing to say the least. At surface, it seemed to have brought back that feeling of futuristic Call of Duty. It does well to balance both an intense multiplayer shooter experience and innovative environments with a more futuristic tone, but once you get started into the nitty-gritty, you start to see the cracks in the facade. The new semi-futuristic additions to your loadout and kill streaks are honestly extremely fun at times, and it shows just how creative they can be, albeit at the cost of everything else being unnecessarily difficult or confusing to say the least. Like a thunder-powered rocket launcher that fires at an arc, or a shotgun that you need to charge before firing. It's definitely fun if you enjoyed Black Ops 2 through 4, but for everyone else, it comes off as more annoying than anything. In the previous Black Ops, we were introduced to Omni Movement, a new way to look at how players moved and interacted with the various maps. Here, it seems to be mostly intact, but with a small addition of wall running, which made its return for Black Ops 3. It doesn't really add much to the overall experience. In fact, I barely even found it necessary or reasonable to use. When it actually worked, that is. It seems like the only part of this experience that didn't feel like the world's longest migraine was the notorious zombie storyline. I couldn't tell you how excited I was discovering the return of Dempsey, Takio, Nikolai, and Richtofen, and even more trying to understand what this meant for the Dark Ether storyline. Without giving too much away, it's safe to say that this is probably the only part of Black Ops 7 that they actually seemed to get right. Mainly because all they did was expand upon the already perfected formula by making the different maps feel way more expansive and accessible than ever before. Plus, they brought back Dead Ops Arcade, which pretty much makes everything else worth it. Black Ops 7 is a massive disappointment. A shame given how phenomenal 6 was. The campaign is one massive letdown, plagued with unnecessary AI slop and extremely questionable online requirements. Multiplayer is not the worst, but it could definitely benefit from some much needed overhauling, preferably ones that are less confusing and actually add something meaningful. And zombies is, well, the only section that doesn't make you regret the $80 price tag. It really shows that no matter how big or popular a series is, there's always a chance for it to flop hard. Just not as hard as this. Black Ops 7 calls it a 3 out of 10.
Everybody failed. This operation needs a hard reboot.